We worked together in the Nolan lab, which is one of the chemistry labs on campus. We were doing organic chemistry research.
And I stabbed myself with a contaminated needle, and I went to go find someone to help me.
Yeah.
He told me I'd probably be okay.
Well, no, so you went to find the lab safety officer, which was not me. But I was like, oh, hey, who are you? You're cute. Let me check that out. And I was like looking at your finger because I wanted an excuse to touch your hands and like flirt with you and stuff. And I was like, yeah, you'll probably be all right.
And I missed all of that flirting. It went all over my head.
Yeah. But that was the first like interaction we had together. So, yeah.
A few weeks later, the research lab that we were in had like a cabin retreat, and we started hanging out there, and there was cuddling.
Ooh.
As we looked at the Milky Way on a dock.
Yeah. It was really cute.
Yeah, I didn't know he was trying to flirt with me.
And then you thought I was just like being cuddly and stuff because I was drunk. But I was like, what? No! I like you. I am also drunk, but I also like you. That could be both. That's a thing.
When we got back from the trip, like the Monday afterward, we like went out to dinner. He bought me dinner.
And you refused to believe that was a date?
Yeah.
Even though I invited you to dinner and bought you dinner. And you're like, no, that's not a date.
I considered the first date like 4 months later.
It took some working on. Yeah.
It was predetermined before we went out that it was going to be classified as a date, and therefore it could be a date.
Yeah. I'd say it would be dinner. We were in really, really different spots when we started seeing each other. Because I had been coming out of a very long-term relationship. I was seeing someone for 6 years, and then I was totally over the monogamy thing, and I was dating a bunch of people, multiple people at the same time sometimes, because I was trying to figure out if I wanted polyamory in my life. And you came from a very different dating background.
Yeah, I had only dated one other person, and it was short, and I didn't fancy them, and yeah.
Yeah. And so me as like a whirlwind of a person, seeing other people trying to practice polyamory, coming into your life, very little experience with dating, it was kind of very complicated at first. And honestly, when I first started dating you, I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? I feel like I'm going to ruin this poor girl's life. Like, I felt like I was going to break your heart because I was kind of a mess.
Oh, I thought you were going to break my heart too.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I even told you that. I'm like, it's going to be sad when you break my heart.
And then we still kept doing it. We're like, yeah, this is fun. Let's break each other's heart. This will be great. We have constantly been trying to figure out what it is we're doing or what we are together. And it usually just comes down to, well, this is nice and I like you, so let's just keep doing this thing. And it's kind of progressed in like our commitment and involvement together. And we've honestly started talking about like future stuff now. Which definitely wasn't a thing at first. Like, you thought there was like a timeline where I was like, I'm leaving to Denver. I'm moving away in a year. And so it took you forever to believe that that wasn't the case and that I changed my mind.
Yeah, it was until after the year mark, and I'm like, oh, so I don't have to say goodbye right now? So like at our 6th month, I'm like, this is halfway to the goodbye. And you're like, oh, that sounds so sad. And then at a year, I'm like, so this is like goodbye, right? So I should like leave. You're like, no,
I told you.
Stupid.
I'm not going to Denver. Yeah.
There was a lot of time where I was like sad that I wouldn't get a lot of time to spend with him. But it made me appreciate the time that we did get to spend together and like cherish that. Like make a point to go out of my way to do things that I wanted.
So it's been complicated.
After like 3 months of hanging out and stuff, we were hammocking one day and we were talking, and that's when he like brought up that he had another lady friend individual. And that kind of shook me a little bit.
Yeah. And I guess at that point, I didn't know, since we never really started dating, I didn't know when was an appropriate time to be like, oh, by the way, there's also other people I see. And in retrospect, I guess I've learned to do that earlier because it's obvious we were like interested in each other. But I didn't know at the time how to address that necessarily and how to go about that in like a respectful and kind way. An answer is sooner. You do it sooner than 3 months. But I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, and it felt like, even though that was an idea in my mind before that I had toyed with, it felt like the idea of our relationship, or like the future of it, was being taken from me, and that I couldn't have things that I had decided could be part of it. I don't know if that makes sense. But like I had to grieve the loss of something that I didn't necessarily know if I wanted in the first place.
Nope. Wasn't taking anything away. I guess we're in an open relationship, but neither of us is currently seeing anyone else. I've expressed that it's important to me to be able to kind of pursue people I'm interested in, just because otherwise I find I might get resentful or I might get restless, and I never want that to be the case. And I feel like if I'm able to do that in a relationship and there's enough trust to do so, then I wouldn't have to deal with those feelings. And I wouldn't feel like I was held down in that way.
Yeah, we had a conversation the other day where I was like, if you need to do this to live your best life, then I want to support you in being fulfilled in your life, even though it comes with challenges.
And you've also investigated and like kind of looked into going on dates with other people or being on Tinder, but it doesn't seem like you found anything there you enjoy.
No. No, says in weak voice. I have a hard time trying to fancy people. Like, nope, you're scary. I don't want to talk to you. But Howie's nice.
Which makes
I like him.
Which makes me feel special because you like me like right away.
Yeah, I did.
So that's
it's weird. I don't know what that's about.
Thanks.
When one of Howie's friends that he was interested in got out of a relationship, and Howie's like, I was thinking about like seeing where things go with her, and I knew he had liked her for a while, but it kind of like struck a chord with me because she felt like the most threatening. Like there were other people, there was another person before her, but this girl felt way more threatening to me. So that was interesting to like get over and like work through. And that was like the first time I told my dad about seeing Howie. This was like
I make a
7
wonderful
months.
First impression.
I'm like, yeah, I had to have a conversation with Howie about him and this other girl that he likes.
Well, like you were talking about, I think when I sobered up a little bit because I kind of was living a rougher lifestyle and partying a bunch, and just
4 days a week,
just being a buffoon and not making them to work much, and then eventually I couldn't work at the U of M anymore in the research lab, and so I had to like get a big boy job, and I finished my degree, so I had to sober up and be able to go out and do interviews and try to find a position as a chemist. And I think you liked that because it definitely had a positive benefit on my like presence in the relationship and my reliability and my mindfulness about my behavior and the way it was affecting you and stuff. So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to like be pushing him to be sober when that wasn't what he wanted for himself. So I had to let him do that.
But also, it'd be okay for you to push me to do that for it would be best for me because you care about me. Just to say that, do that.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to do that, but I don't mind if you're advocating for what's in my best interest. Because it sometimes is helpful to hear that from the people that care about you.
You stop seeing other people, not like stop seeing them, but the relationships that you were in had ended, and so then it was just us, which was weird and interesting because it hadn't been that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so this is what this whole like two people in a relationship thing is about. Huh.
I still find it kind of funny that this is your introduction to like a long-term relationship, and that you've stuck around through all of that and the amount of difficulty and I won't say bullshit, but bullshit. Yeah, and now I guess we're technically monogamous.
Are we?
Well,
cool.
Practicing, yeah. And so that's a change from where we've been before. It's kind of simpler on both of our ends. The one time, I think you had stayed the night you were here, and Haley came over because we were going to go out and do something. And you were out in the kitchen, and you were so afraid of meeting her and running into her that you just hid in the kitchen. And you were just like this.
I hid behind the fridge for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
And then I came out and I'm like, "Hi, Ashley, you alright? You want to you come out here and like say hi?" Because they knew of each other. It's not like it was some like mystery or there was like, I didn't think there was beef going on, but there might have been hard feelings. And you just kind of scampered out of here and left without really saying.
I didn't say anything to her.
No.
I went like this to like wave when you tried to introduce us, but I didn't say goodbye to you. I didn't say goodbye to her. I just like dipped into my car.
Yeah. Now you don't have to deal with that, I guess.
I knew she was coming over too.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
it
wasn't at all a surprise. I guess I wouldn't know how I'd handle that situation either. So.
Probably not hiding behind a fridge.
It probably would have been a little more chill. But.
Like it would have been exaggerated. Hey, just like, hey, how's it going?
What's up? Yeah, nice to meet you. Hide my discomfort with flamboyance. That might have worked.
I feel like that's what it would have been.
I think it's difficult, but right. I think we have a lot of the right things for each other, and it's not always easy because we both present different challenges. But oftentimes I have a lot of what Ashley needs, and Ashley has a lot of what I need. So I think we complement each other really well.
We're like different. We're very different people.
We're vastly different people.
But that kind of helps us work together. Like a yin-yang sort of thing, I guess. And we both really care about each other and are very, like, mindful a lot of times about what the other person needs or wants. And we want the best for each other.